Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to another reaction. Today we have some from my executive producer, Autistic Cat, and apparently they're Homestuck songs. I was never a Homestuck kid. I know about it. It was definitely like within the age range for me to have gotten into it, but it just wasn't my thing. So I didn't get into it. So I really don't know what to expect here with the music of it, but apparently I've got to listen to these. I don't know if they're related at all. I didn't get any context from this as far as I have noted. So really I have no clue. They're both savior of something, so I'm not sure if that's relevant to each other, but it's most likely because I allowed them to request more than one song since they are relatively short together. So I'm sure I'll figure all that out as I go, but let's start with Savior of the Waking World, and without further ado, let's go! Is the picture just that low res, or is it the upload? Oh man, good old 480p upload, okay. Doesn't affect the sound much though, so we're fine. Sometimes I forget that I grew up through the age of standard definition videos on YouTube, and my back creaks evermore. This is much better than I expected. Like, already. The sound font is kind of interesting. It reminds me of Super Mario RPG a little bit. Honestly, the whole sound kind of sounds like that. Maybe a little bit more like Final Fantasy III. Or Final Fantasy VII. Good stereo movement there. One ear to the other. It's not doing it like fast or anything, but I like that. I like the motifs on the piano there too. Ooh, is that it? I forgot this is like the shorter one. Yeah, it is. Okay. I wasn't sure if that was going to keep going or what. All right, so just getting into the music theory right off the bat. I like what this one's doing. It has this magical quality to it that totally fits the fantasy scene, and that's why it was giving me all those like video game passes in my brain. I was like, I know I've heard this sound before, and that's just because it's E-flat minor. E-flat minor has this quality to it that just leaves it hanging on an end, and you just kind of have this moment of, man, that could really go anywhere. That mystical feeling that comes with it. And in general, that is the kind of main progression we have here. And that's just E-flat minor, D-flat, and C-flat, which is enharmonically B. So if you just want to play it as a B, go for it. But then we also have kind of a curveball, I would say, in here, which I think is B-flat. Which is weird, because within E-flat minor, it should be B-flat minor, which would be this, just one note off, but it does affect the entire sound, and I don't believe that this is the one that's in here. I think they accidentally maybe borrowed the B-flat from E-flat major, not E-flat minor, because again, E-flat minor would be this one. It's different ever so slightly, but it does change the quality of what happens there. And given that the dominant chord within E-flat minor is that B-flat minor, the dominant chord in E-flat major is the B-flat major. So it's just, that's the quality there. But having that sort of an energy where we could just take this progression and play it within the key, you can hear how that just kind of sticks on, like, it doesn't quite go to where you're expecting it to. It doesn't resolve the same way. But when you end that same progression utilizing the key they did in this song, it does. And that's just the beauty of music theory. And just by doing that and ending on that different dominant chord, as slight of a change as that may be, literally going from the D to the D flat is the only thing different in that feel. That's what makes this song kind of end on that footnote it does and have any sort of finality to it, any sort of resolution. Because if you weren't to do that, the song would just constantly feel like it needs to go somewhere else, maybe down to like the F flat or something to be able to end that phrase. And that would fit within the key, but it doesn't feel as good as just keeping the standard 4-chord progression walk downwards to that, because it ends the sentence just a little bit quicker and also just as conveniently. You can still go wherever you need to with that one and even go back to where we came from. It doesn't feel out of place necessarily. It's just one of those factors in music that kind of works out, again, even maybe by accident. I don't know how much of a music nerd made this music, or if they just kind of threw something together and didn't really plan for anything, because that does happen a lot with more indie style of productions. You just have people who are like really into game design and then they like fiddle around in music, and sometimes vice versa. It really just depends. But that's kind of the quality you get with this one. It feels like it's just very heavily inspired by that like PlayStation 1 era of video game music, and Super Nintendo definitely for sure in there as well. Just that era of early retro gaming, and it's like, cool, that's fucking sick. I love it. Like I mentioned, I had a lot of those games I was feeling like it was sounding alike, especially Final Fantasy VII in hindsight. Maybe Final Fantasy VI is a little bit more where I would place it, but close enough either way. And still a really fucking good song. And again, I love this quality of having this fantasy that does kind of loop back around and then also ends on the lower E flat, just to kind of end that note on the song. It just starts there, it ends there. That's kind of the best way to use a tonic note, the root note of any sort of key. You start there, you end there. It doesn't matter if it's a different way, like in this one, just ending with that lower note, or starting with simply the whole chord, as this song does, in that exact same moment. So it's just it's a good song, is what I'm trying to say. Long-winded way of me saying I like it. But now I need to hear the other song, so I'm going to stop yapping and get to that one. So let's go. This is something called Cascades Cut. I don't know what that means. Might just be like a fan remix or something. Might be relevant to the game. I don't know. Okay. This one's harmonies are too good to be somebody dabbling in music. Just immediately. The last one I could have believed it, but this one's already starting a little bit more complex. Very 90s swish effect there. Very 90s swell. Okay. Going a little metal now. That's gotta be a VST. I was trying to figure out if it was an actual guitar. Sometimes compression can do a lot, but this sounds more like a stock tone that would come from a VST, which is perfectly fine. Just my own hubris trying to figure it out. I mean, everything else in this is definitely a sample, so wouldn't shock me that the guitar is too. It's a really good riff, as simple as it is. Just keeping it steady. It's not winning awards, but it does do its job. It's a very roomy drum set. Lots of reverb on that. Big room. I really do like how this is being put together. It's one of those songs that is so deceptively simple. But between all the panning and, like, again, the harmonies at the beginning, this is somebody who knows their shit. Ooh, well, that's different. Okay. Are we at an outro now? Unless... Okay. What a way to end it. There must be something like contextual to end it that way, but I thought it was going to be leading into something else. Okay, so again, music theory stuff. I find this kind of funny because, like, yes, this person definitely knows what they're doing when it comes to just making a song. But again, it's also deceptively simple and also very similar to the other one we just heard, so it might be the same person as far as just how it's written. So that last one was a 1, 7, 6, 5, which kind of, again, we talked about that whole thing. It's not necessarily this chord, but I'll count it as close enough. And that's just kind of funny because this one is a 1, 6, 7. And that's kind of just how it goes. It also goes down to the C sharp minor, which is, you know, the 4, I think, in this key. Not a 5, but close enough. So it's just kind of funny that these songs are pathed in such a similar way. And it's like, this one is a little bit more on that uplift because it goes down before it goes back up, and the other one just went down the line, so it just kind of brought you with it. This one brings you back up from where it's kind of stopped, I guess, the lowest point. And again, we do go down lower than that, but there's not really a factor to that, more as it is just like a chord that connects a little bit more, especially for that momentary shift with the electric guitar. So it's just there. And this is just a signifier that it's probably the same composer. I'm not entirely positive, but again, given the similarities there and just even down to just the pattern of the way it was played, feels pretty similar, even though it definitely isn't the same genre even. This one definitely have more of that metal going on. The other one was a lot more like fantasy folk inspired. So it's just these factors of how you write kind of bleed into all of your work at a point. And this is fun, but it's also just funny in that way of just going, yep, that's the same person. But I do like that this song had a little bit more of like that anger to it. And again, a little bit of that uplift given how we go down and come back up. So there is that like stopping point on an uplift. So emotionally, this song feels a little bit brighter even compared to the other one, which feels like it was a little bit more like it was struggling. It just kind of ends on a note that obviously brings you down and doesn't really go anywhere up. And even if we go down to that spot, it brings you lower. It doesn't really go back up. It does kind of have this moment where it does like kind of loop back into the middle during that first song, but for this one it's pretty steady at kind of doing that sort of a pattern instead. So again, just constantly being more generally uplifting while also being a little bit more just aggressive in tone to keep the balance there. I'm actually surprised. I'm honestly impressed by this game sounding the way it does. It's obviously, like I mentioned, using a lot of just basic VSTs, but that's to be expected given the era, especially that this was made out of. I'm still impressed at the quality that this song sounds. Both of these sound fantastic for the time they were made in. For the indie scene, did not have a lot going on and many options. We had a lot of basic VSTs with really crappy samples, and none of them really sounded all that good, especially by modern day music standards. So that's just how the nature of things goes. You use it more, people realize there's a market for it, they sell better ones, we get our hands on those over time. That's just the music way, right? But it's also just impressive that these sound as good as they did back then, even down to the mix. Nothing's getting lost in here, nothing's feeling out of place, the vocals are well set. So like all this emotional context is being tied in without going, ooh, that sounded awful. Even for the lackluster upload quality of these videos, it still sounds pretty good. And I'm not sure, again, what that like edited version of this one may mean for the overall quality. That cascade cut factor could just be a longer variation of the theme as a whole, and they kind of just looped it. Not entirely sure. Either way, though, I'm very surprised and impressed by Homestuck music at this point. I really didn't expect I would be. I thought it was going to be just okay at best, but I'm here for it, actually. But I have been yapping quite a bit, so I will end it here. Thank you all so very much for watching. Thank you, Autistic Cat, for putting this into the executive queue so I could get to it. And if anyone else has something they want me to get to from Homestuck or anything else, drop it in the comments below, and I will do my best as always to get to those. Or if you want to guarantee something, much like Kat did for this one, you can go to my Patreon or my YouTube memberships, where you can force me to listen to something. Doesn't matter who it's by, what it's from, if it's good or bad, none of that matters. That's why it's a guarantee. If you don't want to do any of that though, and you just want to follow me and support me for more stuff coming in the future, you know how to do all that, and I'll see all of you in the next video. Goodbye!